For those of you who don't know me, hi. I'm that dude who failed miserably on replicating Counter-Strike movement physics on Godot 4, but actually made it in Godot 3. All of this just to create some type of surf game, but with some twists to it. If you find it boring, well, at least I warned you of what I was doing in the first place. Psst. Guess what, baby? We're back on Godot 4.
Let's go!
Kept on researching this whole time, and of course, I was just being plain dumb. After looking through some Reddit posts and more code snippets online, I found out that we can replicate the movement, but we need to adjust our velocity along with the ramp's normal, and use the move and collide function, and that is it. Yes, I was 2 lines of code away of making it. More like 10 lines and tweaking other 10. Oh, and you might have noticed that the voice in this video isn't the same. That's because my friend Peter, after reading some comments...
I don't need this, you small ass YouTuber. Make up your own
So,
voiceovers.
I'm covering for him now. And ta-da! Wait.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, now we can basically surf ramps, but in a super slow motion way and with a lot of stuttering in between.
Nice.
Guess we are bringing back the Godot 3 version after all.
Oh, here we go again.
And yes, I wasn't feeling that great either with these pumping colors around, so I downloaded Kenny's prototyping textures so that we can really start prototyping. First, I want to create some blockouts for our first level, the tutorial, so we can guide the new players around the mechanics. Deleted everything I had and started with some fresh new shapes. First, we're gonna add some simple surfing and progress with more advanced mechanics afterwards. Again, we start with 2 platforms and 1 simple wall ramp. I played with the lighting a little bit, and for now it's looking a lot better than it was. Added a curved ramp using the built-in path in Godot so that we can have a little more to surf while also forcing the player to control the movement on ramps a bit better. And as promised, today we will move on to every indie 3D artist's best friend, Blender.
Sorry, I ain't got no money.
So I started creating this, following this really easy tutorial on YouTube by Joey Carlino on creating different types of characters. Looking good, eh?
Clap them cheeks.
Either way, we are throwing this attempt to the garbage and create a fresh new character. The challenge is to pull some bones around and basically make this a believable humanoid-ish. With a simple setup, we can move and extrude different joints of our character. Of course, the positioning of the bones can't be random, but still, this method of creating characters is really easy as we can add different joints and resize the outer shape of it, giving us our different body shapes. But I noticed one thing during this process. I f***ing hate modeling hands. Seriously, to any 3D artists out there who really do this professionally, I feel for you. I just couldn't get everything lined up to look good. Every attempt would look like his hand was crushed by a truck and poorly rebuilt by some shady doctor. And after maybe 5 attempts at it and changing the number of fingers 2 or 3 times, I managed to model the hands of our character. And with 5 fingers. Now we are ready to start adding some true detail to our character. We move on to sculpting. Ah, yes. I can feel my drawing skills tinkling behind my neck. Okay, somehow I felt like I was getting the hang of it and actually liked the final shape of our body.
Damn, boy.
It was a bit tricky on the face because it needs a bit more detailed sculpting than the rest of the body. And no, I'm not modeling the character's hair for now, so I'm gonna give him his first accessory, a beanie.
Wow.
Thought this was easier than modeling some random hair because we can get a really good beanie with just a basic half sphere and modify it a bit to add some shape. After that, I adjusted the mesh to the head with sculpting and we got ourselves a nice beanie. I also modeled some clothes for him because this homie needs to impress the ladies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go with the most basic way for now and block out the shape of a basic t-shirt and create a new solid mesh for that blockout. Same process for the bottom part, where I blocked out the shape for some shorts, but this took a bit more work due to the shape of the character. Don't forget, kids, clean up your meshes. After all that pain, we can adjust the clothes to fit the character all together, and we are ready to move on to the final piece, the footwear. This was actually pretty fun because I got a bit more creative with it, so I modeled some fancy sneakers for him. It's missing some details, but we get the picture that they are sneakers. I also added some missing details like eyebrows and ears, tweaked the beanie a bit to fit everything properly, and we have him ready for the paint job. I'm not worried with that much detail for now, so basically I added some basic colors to everything with some textures in the clothing. Imported everything back to Blender and it is set. He is ready to be brought to life with some animations. After exporting everything, I uploaded our character to Mixamo and started downloading our various animations like idle, running, jumping. Also, I'm downloading these aiming animations for us to add it later to our project. And as soon as I retargeted the first animation, I noticed that the clothes weren't rigged with the character, so it wasn't following the body accordingly. Scratching my head, I went online to look up for a solution, and it was actually pretty easy. Just needed to assign the clothes to empty groups and modify the weight paint on them. Blender pretty much did this automatically. And to my surprise, it was working really good. So I just tweaked the character a bit more, re-imported all the textures, and now we can start retargeting and saving all our different animations in the NLA editor, so we can use them in Godot. After all of this 3D science, our little Michael is ready to step in our playground. Yes, I called him Michael, just because, nothing to do with my real name and lack of creativity for sure. I saved all the animations to independent files so that we can use them even if we re-import our character. For this, we just need to create a new animation player in Tree and set everything up with the animation saved. Look at him! Full of life, surfing smoothly and beautifully through our map. And we just need to correct the collision shape so it doesn't get buried in the ground, add all the animations in our tree, tweak the script to lerp all the values, and boom! Basic movement. Check.
Run, Forrest, run!
Well, close enough. Headed back to the script, changed the way we calculate our movement input strength to activate these animations, and now we got it right. Oh, come on, what is this shit? Oh, since I was the lazy fuck that downloaded all my animations from Mixamo, and because I didn't download the diagonal movement ones, I'm just blending front back with left and right, the side strafing movement animations are slightly longer than the forward and back ones. So at some points of the animation blend we get this weird dance. Of course we are going again for the easy way and add our asses back to Mixamo and download the diagonal movement animations. And we got another problem. There are almost no diagonal movement presets on Mixamo, and as you can see, some of them are very efficient. So I'm just gonna cheat again and download these forward ones and reverse them correctly for the back movement. Until I found out that there is no easy way of reversing animations in Godot, at least in this version that I'm using. But this is where the community part takes place, and of course, there is a GD extension that takes care of this with a single button. So now we blend the diagonal movement animations correctly, add our jumping and falling as well, assign everything that we need on our script, add lerps to blend the values, and we should have our full basic movement setup for now. Yes, we still get somewhat of a buggy animation sometimes on the diagonal movement, but it's way less noticeable than before. Oh, and I also added some animation blend when we rotate our character with the mouse. And now, I just want to make it more challenging for myself, you know, make this game development thing harder because we've been dominating so far. So we enter the world of
Inverse kinematics.
Now, this will come to use also when we add some to our game, but for now I want to try out this idea. When we hit a ramp, we don't have any smooth animation to it because we don't know how to do it, and also because ramps may have a lot of irregular curves, therefore a static animation may look like shit. So I want to use the IK to grab the closest hand on our falling animation and stick it along our ramp, and adjust the opposite foot to lower and match the ramp as well. That will give us the idea he is hanging on the ramp, I hope. And I know, maybe it's a complete waste of time and it's just for visual appeal, but hey, I gotta stretch that content. This basically consists in defining a range of bones to be modified and adding a 3D target to define the position of the skeleton constraint, giving us the ability to change its parameters in script. Like this, we can then blend between animations and IK when we hit walls or surf ramps. I will start first with a quick rig to lock the head of our character to where we are looking. This way I can start diving a bit more on how this actually works. And yes, the setup was really easy. As you can see, he was vibing in no time. Tweaked our script again and also had to make the character local to our main player node so I could access its bones in script. Now we just need to run the IK and we can see that the head is locking to the target really nicely. No. But for some reason I was struggling on getting the rotation on the target. Went through several attempts and these ones were the best ones. Found out that it was my retarded way of setting everything up, so I just resetted my camera pivots and used the rotation of those for our IK. And he is finally looking to where we are aiming at. Like this, we will override every animation, but only on the head bones. Okay, I become the master of IKs now. For sure I can make the surf animation that I wanted to make easily. Well, guess what? I found out that sometimes I'm even dumber than I look after all. This was a pain getting everything together. It took me a whole Saturday working on this. Because in theory, this is all great. I had everything thought out. 2 raycasts for the arms, 2 raycasts for the feet, and target positions for all of them. Our raycasts will handle the collisions with ramps or walls, and if we detect that it collided, we just get the collision point for each raycast. Move the IK targets to that point and blend the interpolation of our IK to match the target. But I already told you, I'm not good at programming. First, I was trying to just run the IK skeleton without lerping the values just to get the feel of the final IK animation. Smooth. I also noticed that our hands and feet were breaking when the IK was active, but that was due to the rotation of our target, which was really easy to fix. After fixing it and tweaking our raycasts a little bit, we got a really good start. And then I was trying to make it like, the closer we get to the walls, we raise our interpolation accordingly. But to be honest, I couldn't get it to work like I wanted to, and sometimes the animation would look really sketchy. So with that happening, I just decided to make it like, if we get a certain distance close to a wall or ramp, the interpolation value will lerp to 1. And if we move back from that threshold, we lerp the value back to 0. This took me a lot of tweaks and even 2 extra raycasts to get the system working correctly. And yes, by correctly, I mean it's not totally what I wished for, but I think I got the best result that my tiny little brain could achieve. And even though sometimes his arms look like jello gluing to the wall, I'm happy with it. We moved from this to this. We finally have a character that whenever is getting close to a parallel wall, he reaches out his arm to hold on to it. And our surfing animation looks way more dynamic like this. Even if you're on a small ramp and the hands are not colliding, the feet will still adjust to the angle of the ramp. And I think it will look cool now when our little Michael is surfing to add some particle trails or something to the hands and feet, but we'll leave that for another time. To finish things off, I implemented a UI label so that we can keep track of the player's velocity. On the next video, we're gonna get more deep on the shooting part of the game. I already saved some references to start modeling our first gun, a shotgun, because everyone loves that mechanic where you can boost yourself with a shotgun. And by the time this video releases, I'll already be working on opening a Discord for everyone who wants to join and give some feedback or contribute in any type of way. Or even if you want just to hang out, it's your call. I also wanted to say a massive thank you since I didn't thought that my first video would get that much of attention. I had a lot of really good comments and only 1 hater. That's a win. Thanks again guys, and one more time, if you want to keep up with my progress, hit that little red subscribe button and bell right next to it. See y'all later.